Blessings and namaste, everyone. I'm spiritualist, psychic, astrologer, and medium Ray Sette. Thank you once again for offering me this opportunity to share with you my astrological and spiritual insights for the month of August 2018. I'd like to begin by touching upon that on July 26th, our friend Mercury began its next retrograde period. And this phase, it is in the sign of Leo. And the significance with the Leo energies, especially at this time of year, yes, because the sun is in the sign of Leo. But also, we have on August 8th, the opening of the Lion's Gate portal, and I will touch upon that in a moment. Mercury moving through the sign of Leo. Leo connects with our creativity and our divinity, and many times you've heard me inspire you to recognize that when we express ourselves creatively, we connect with divinity, and when we connect with divinity, we express ourselves creatively. Use this Mercury retrograde period to finally, fully remember your connection with spirit, with source, with God, whatever that might be for you personally, that allows us to really demonstrate ourselves as creative beings. If at one time in your life you demonstrated some sort of a modality that allowed you to express your creativity and you forgot about that, remember that, reconnect with that, and bring that into your present experiences. And perhaps if there is something that you've always wanted to engage in creatively, and again, when we refer to creativity, it doesn't only connect with art and music. Creativity is infinite, and it connects with all experiences that we can engage in while we are in this human form. So if there is something that you've always wanted to really incorporate in your own lives that allows you to express yourself creatively, it could be working with food, it could be interior decorating, it could be gardening, it could be working with nature, anything that resonates with you on a personal level that you feel will allow you and offer you the opportunity to demonstrate your creativity. Remember and incorporate all those wonderful modalities into your lives, especially once Mercury moves direct. Now, as I said, Mercury went direct on July 26th. Mercury moved retrograde on July 26th. It will move direct on August 19th. Now, do remember that we have what's called a shadow period, and not until Mercury reaches the point at which it moved retrograde are we fully out of the Mercury retrograde effects, and that shadow period is in effect until September 2nd. So keep all of that in the back of your mind. I touched upon the opportunity this time of year, which was referred to as the opening of the Lion's Gate portal, and that does connect with the sun moving through the sign of Leo. That opportunity is a time every year for us to fully connect with this creative energy of divinity. And not to get too technical and too specific about it, but what happens at that time is that we understand that there is, at sunrise, there's the rising of two suns. Our sun, as well as the star sun Sirius, which is also a very creative energy. And beginning on about July 26th, which actually coincided with our full moon lunar eclipse, both our sun and Sirius at sunrise rise at the same time, rise at the same moment of sunrise. And that phenomena is exact on August 8th, and on August 7th, 8th, and 9th is when that energy is at its fullest potential. During this time, we are given the opportunity to fully receive the light of love, creativity, and divinity, especially at sunrise on August 7th, 8th, and 9th. That allows us to fully, truly remember ourselves as creative beings. Remember, we have come into this human form, certainly some of us to resolve a lot of karma, some more so than others. It's not a judgment, not right or wrong. It's just for whatever it is that connects with us on a personal level. But more so, we are here to demonstrate our creativity, our creative being, and remember our connection with divinity, whatever resonates with us on a personal level. This time of year, as the sun transits the sign of Leo, but more specifically during the Lion's Gate portal, remember your connection with Source, creativity, and divinity, and allow yourselves the courage. Leo connects with a tremendous amount of courage to demonstrate those qualities and those wonderful potentials about yourself. And as I said, on August 7th, 8th, and 9th, at sunrise is when this portal opening is exact for all of us to really receive these wonderful, wonderful blessings of light, these infusions of light that all of us have the opportunity to receive whenever we choose to do so. Remember, Spirit cannot and will never interfere with our free will. So we have to allow ourselves, through our intentions, to really choose to receive these wonderful infusions of light. And when we connect with our creativity, and which certainly can also be reflective of some of our greatest potentials, and we allow ourselves to demonstrate that potential through those specific unique modalities, is how every one of us has the opportunity to raise the consciousness of humanity, as well as offset any negativity which is happening in the outer world. Just think about whenever you're allowing yourself to really connect and demonstrate whatever it is that you are very passionate about. We feel such a surge of love that really rises through our being. And by allowing ourselves to demonstrate that quality, that ability, we're radiating that love to all of humanity. So allow yourselves to have the courage, connect with some of your greatest potentials, connect with whatever it is that you are passionate about, whatever brings you love. And by allowing yourselves to be in a place of love, you're contributing love to the entirety of all humanity. And by doing so, raising the vibration of the entirety of the all of humanity. Also, whenever we allow ourselves to demonstrate that which we love, so many blessings as well as abundance, financially and otherwise, will always return to us and come back to us. Now, we have our next eclipse coming up, but first we have on, give me a second here, on August 7th, which is actually August 8th, which is the day of the exact rising of Sirius and the Sun and the opening of the Lion's Gate portal. We have the Balsamic Moon, and the Balsamic Moon phase begins on August 7th at 1:01 a.m. As I've said in the past, the Balsamic Moon period, which it begins the dark moon phase, it allows us the opportunity to adequately prepare ourselves energetically and otherwise to set in motion all the intentions we choose to desire to manifest with the energies of the new moon. That Balsamic Moon, it is a time of cleansing, clearing, and purging. And because our new moon, which is a solar eclipse on August 11th, it is in the sign of Leo. As I said, right now these Leo energies are very, very much concentrated right now. So if there's anything, any condition, any belief system which does not allow you to really connect with your creativity, your understanding of divinity on a very personal level, if you're not aware of what that might be, ask Spirit to show you. Ask to be shown, and ask to be shown from a place of love. And allow yourself not to have any preconceived notions as to what that might be. Just be open, receptive to whatever Spirit is sharing with you which will allow you to cleanse yourself of any misconception about yourself, especially your connection with divinity, your connection, or excuse me, your ability to demonstrate yourself as a creative being. Whatever might be interfering with that element, whatever that might be, have the courage to and ask Spirit to show you from a place of love, and then have the courage to really allow yourself to release and cleanse yourself of whatever that might be. So that when we begin the next lunar cycle, which is a solar eclipse, which is a cycle of experience that lasts for much, much longer than a typical new moon, which is about on a month-to-month basis. Many times the energies of an eclipse can last for 6 months, sometimes even longer, and it's really dependent upon for ourselves personally how precise the alignments are to our astrological charts. And as I said, the Lion's Gate, the opening of the Lion's Gate portal is exact on August 7th, 8th, and 9th. It began around July 26th and 27th, but the full force of that opportunity is on August 7th, 8th, and 9th. Now, on August 11th is when we have our new moon solar eclipse. It's not necessarily going to be visible for us in the United States. However, regardless of whether or not we can actually see the phenomenon, like we did last August when we had the Great American Eclipse, which really at that period, it began a tremendous amount of change for so many of us. But this, I always emphasize, this is very positive change. And much of that change, which began last August, is very much being concentrated right now. We are giving the opportunity to really propel to the next level of our human experiences, whatever that might be on a personal level. You know, many of us are feeling a bit of a discomfort right now. There are so many energetic shifts that are happening. Our vibrational frequency is elevated, and we're still given the opportunities to acclimate to higher vibrational frequencies of experience. We're moving from the third to the fifth dimension. That fifth dimension very much is that place of love, and we're all being given the opportunity to really move to that place of experience. And however long we get there, it's really dependent on us. Remember, Spirit is never going to interfere with our free will. It's really up to us how quickly we will progress to that place of love. As I'm emphasizing, there's a tremendous concentration of elevated energy right now. So much is very much being amped up. And also many of us are becoming very overwhelmed by this energy. Recognize what is available for you regarding modalities to keep yourselves cleansed, clear, and grounded with the energies of the earth, anchored to that energy, so that when these powerful winds of change come along, just like a big beautiful oak tree, as long as those roots are anchored to the energy of the earth, we can sway and bend, but we will not break. Do not be discouraged by whatever might be happening in the outer world. Observe it all from a place of love. And whenever we recognize our connection with Spirit, Source, Divinity, as I keep emphasizing, especially during this time, regardless of what may unfold in the outer world, nothing, absolutely nothing will interfere with our well-being when we remember and we have anchored that knowing of the connection of Spirit, Source, in our human experiences. Very much do so, especially at this time of this new moon solar eclipse. The new moon solar eclipse is exact on August 11th at 5:58 a.m. And again, just to further emphasize this Leo element, at that time we have Leo rising on the horizon. There's also a somewhat transformative alignment to the sun and moon solar eclipse from the planet Pluto. Pluto is still very prominent in the astrological understanding, regardless of whatever labels might be placed upon it. Remember, as Shakespeare said, would a rose by any other name smell less sweet? Regardless of how Pluto is classified or defined, it is still one of the most prominent and prevailing elements in the astrological sciences, and the alignment that it's forming to the sun and moon at the time of the eclipse. It's a transformative alignment which connects with a tremendous amount of power energy. To illustrate the potential of that energy, it's the same type of energy that is released at the time of an atomic explosion. I always use this analogy not to emphasize the destruction, but just think about how destructive that experience potentially can be. Connect with the opposite end of that spectrum regarding the creativity and the ability to manifest everything that we desire to the nth degree. This solar eclipse new moon is allowing us to fully understand that power of divinity. And when I refer to power, it does not mean power over others. This is also an indication that the power over other experience that has been prevalent in the outer world is being dissolved. This is why, since specifically 2014, with Pluto's alignment to the Sun in the United States chart, that every one of us individually have been given the opportunity to recognize our power, which is a direct connection to creativity and divinity, and that nothing, absolutely nothing in the outer world has power over us. That power over others' quality is continually being dissolved, and the dissolve of that element is very specific, especially at this new moon solar eclipse. Always embrace that constituent of that power, the creativity, from a place of love and humility, and not ego and greed. When the power is demonstrated from a place of ego and greed, that's when it does not serve a greater purpose. We have the next element that I want to just touch upon. And remember, as I always said, during the course of the month, even during the course of the day, there could be literally thousands of alignments that take place, and I'm only touching upon those that are more prominent during the course of the month. On August 19th, there's a beautiful alignment between Jupiter and Neptune. And Jupiter is in the sign of Scorpio. Neptune is in the sign of Pisces. The water signs, those are water signs. The water signs very much are the psychic signs around that time. Just really allow yourself to be anchored and rooted in the energy of the earth, and just let yourself be inspired by spirit in those days. And it could be on the 18th and 19th and the 20th. That portal opens up for spirit to share with us so much inspiration as well as clarity about ourselves and what is happening in the outer world, what is unfolding in the outer world. Perhaps if you're available to do so in those next few days, allow yourselves to just fully connect with spirit. What I would also suggest, if possible, on those days, if not for those 3 days, but on the 19th, if possible, just allow yourself as much as you can to disconnect with anything, any earthly third dimensional experiences like social media, watching TV, working on computers. August 19th is a Sunday, so if possible, maybe on that day, allow yourselves to only connect with spirit and nature. Allow yourselves to be in nature and just let yourself be guided. You see, once we quiet the cacophony from the outer world, and disconnect from much of these electronics which emanate electromagnetic frequency, which very much does interfere with the clarity that we are receiving from spirit. When we disconnect from all of that density, that's when spirit has the opportunity to inspire us. So as I said, on that day, August 19th, if possible, only connect with spirit and nature. Let your mind be quieted and observe what comes through from you regarding the inspiration from spirit. And you might be amazed as to what you might actually hear and receive, and the clarity that will be given to you, especially during these somewhat tumultuous times. Remember, we are in the times of the apocalypse and revelations, which has nothing to do with destruction, inasmuch as we are being offered clarity, certainly about ourselves, who we are personally, but also to a greater understanding of who we are as a human race. Maybe even where we actually came from. Who knows? I always say we just keep it all in the realm of possibilities. And I always emphasize what I share with you. If what I share with you resonates with you, that is wonderful. And if it does not resonate with you, it is also wonderful. Also discern this, and also in all information that you receive, recognize whatever resonates with you on a personal level. I went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but when we talk spiritually, sometimes that's how it goes. On August 20th, we have the sun moving in the sign of Virgo. One of the many elements that Virgo does connect with is health and well-being. So as the sun moves through the sign of Virgo, perhaps use that time as an opportunity to really recognize what you might need to modify regarding your health and well-being. Virgo is an earth sign. Nature demonstrates and possesses healing properties. There is much healing in the natural world that is available to us, especially through foods. For anyone who is open and receptive to that higher knowing, I always recommend reviewing the information that is presented to us by the individual known as the medical medium. His name is Anthony something. His name is escaping me, but I do suggest perhaps reviewing some of the information he has. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of information, how food very much is medicine, and medicine is food. And we have the availability at our fingertips to correct any imbalances, certainly naturally and holistically. So maybe as the sun moves through the sign of Virgo, just entertain that possibility for yourself. Virgo is also ruled by the sign of Mercury. So just observe how when we allow our thoughts to just really run wild, how it affects our physical being, how stress compromises our well-being and does not allow ourselves to really enjoy a fully balanced existence. The mind is very powerful. I'm not saying anything new here. Allow yourself to perhaps recognize really how our thoughts create our physical form. All illness, including cancer, comes from an imbalance of thought. It's not connected to any of those experiences. Do not connect it with anything in the physical world. We are conventionally taught they connect with something in the physical world. However, I'm just inspiring you to recognize how you have the potential to correct any imbalance. And I always say, don't take my word for this. Apply this for yourself. Apply this knowing. And really recognize how you will be shown how powerful you are. Before, when I was referring to that Pluto alignment to the sun and moon at the sign of the solar eclipse, this power also connects us with the knowing how we have the availability to manifest all that we desire literally at our fingertips. And if you think about just how many times when we meditate, we generally were taught to use these two fingers, put these two fingers tips together. That's because of the energy points at the tips of our fingers. And it almost like completes a circuit when we do that. That's why we use that modality when we meditate. For those of us who have learned about the Silva method of meditation, we use actually 3 fingers, which is an even more complete circuit completes the circuit during our meditation experiences. And really just what I'm emphasizing here is our ability to manifest all that we desire is literally at our fingertips. Our full moon in August is on August 26th. It's on the Pisces Virgo polarity. The full moon is in the sign of Pisces. The sun is in the sign Virgo. The Pisces Virgo Pisces polarity represents fear and trust. Many times the element of Virgo can connect with fear. Pisces is full trust. So allow yourselves, especially on this full moon, to just really recognize how you have the ability to really trust this process of creation. Trust spirit. Trust in all things, especially right now, with all that might be happening in the outer world that might seem as though it's coming undone. And what's really coming undone is the third dimensional consciousness is being dissolved. And through that, we are moving to a place of complete trust. And we do that when we remember and we know our connection with spirit and divinity, which as the sun moves through the sign Leo, at that Lion's Gate portal, we're given the opportunity to fully remember that element about ourselves. So once again, everyone, I thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share with you what Spirit shares with me. Remember all of this and apply it for yourselves in whatever you might need to do on a personal level. Also remember that if you have a birthday around the time of one of the eclipses, new moons or full moon, that energy stays with you throughout the year. And certainly we can review all of that for you personally if you feel the need to do that. Once again, I thank you for offering me this opportunity, allowing me these very brief few minutes, even though they haven't been that brief at this time, to share with you this information. Discern this and all information that you receive. Stay in the light and always in a place of love. Care for yourselves, care for others, care for your loved ones, and just let yourself remember your connection with Spirit, and Spirit will always, always, always guide you. Stay in the light. Many blessings. Namaste. And I will see everyone very, very soon. Heaven bless.